Morning, everyone. So ahead of today's World Cup fixture, I wanted to talk to you about Outrage, when controversy is part of the deal. A lot of discussion I'm seeing around creators still centres on growth, and rightly so. How do you get yourself noticed? How do you build an audience? How do you turn attention into revenue? That all makes sense. But in an increasingly polarised environment, what I think gets discussed less often is the role that controversy and the outrage machine can play in that process, because whether or not we like it, whether or not brands like it, agencies like it, some do. Lots of creators have built successful businesses by having very strong opinions, taking positions that divide opinion, or, as I'm doing, reacting to what's happening to those around them. So in some cases, that's exactly what their audience wants. In some cases, that's what brands are buying in the first place. That, of course, is where things become interesting. Not because controversy is good or bad, it's just a thing. And of course, it depends on the motivation behind that controversy. But everyone involved may be looking at it slightly differently. So for a creator, controversial post might feel wholly consistent with the reason that they have their audience, the reason people follow them. For a commercial partner, the same post may become a conversation about a number of different things, but increasingly I think it's a conversation about risk. Neither's necessarily wrong. They're simply looking at the same thing through an entirely different lens on either side of the argument. And I think the reality is that controversy can cause genuine commercial value, but it drives attention, it drives discussion. It can help you stand out in a crowded marketplace, crowded ecosystem. But when controversy becomes part of the offer, sooner or later, I think there needs to be some kind of conversation about where the boundaries are, what's safe, what isn't. We've seen brands caught it and it's either gone well or gone badly. And also, how much freedom does the actual creator expect? How much influence does the brand they're working with want from them? What can the agency's role be? When does healthy debate become a bit of a distraction? And what happens when a creator's personal views start overshadowing the commercial relationship that they manage to strike up? So these aren't particularly exciting questions when a partnership begins, but they are necessary. They're a lot more interesting, I think, once things start going wrong, and a lot more risky when things going wrong, which is why I think the best kind of talent managers, the best creative wranglers in the marketplace often provide something a lot more valuable than just an introduction or an opportunity. They provide experience, perspective, and a willingness to challenge an assumption. Every now and again, they have to have the confidence to say, I know this is going to do really well. I know it's going to perform well. Is this a good idea? Is this going to move into what the brands have called disrepute? Because most problems rarely start with a bad intention. They start with people making perfectly reasonable decisions from their own point of view, their own perspective, and in the interests of their own existing audience. The disconnect normally happens later on. So that, I think, is why clarity matters. Not because anyone's expecting a dispute when they enter into a partnership with a creator, but it's much easier to work together when everybody is singing from the same hymn sheet and understands what they're signing up to from the start. So, yeah, feeding the outrage economy can get you a sugar high. Brands may not want that high to become a negative halo effect. Other than that, best of luck to the England team. I'll be doing something else and hiding away from football, but for those that enjoy it, I hope you do. Cheers.